Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 23, Text 28. Navam chito avatad madru kachena mata bhuvi labdvata vargam manusham ishayeshu vatsajjate. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Any person who engages himself within this material world in performing activities that necessitate great struggle, and who, after obtaining a human form of life, which is a chance to attain liberation from misery, undertakes the difficult task of fruit of activities, must be considered to be cheated and envious of his own self. Well, that's a pretty heavy thing. Envious of his own self. That's a very heavy. I'm envious of myself. That's a very, very interesting, deep concept. We have to see how Prabhupada elaborates in his purport. Purport: in this material world, people are engaged in different activities simply to achieve a little success in sense gratification. The karmis are engaged in performing very difficult activities, and thus they open gigantic factories, build large cities, make big scientific discoveries, etc. In other words, they are engaged in performing very costly sacrifices in order to be promoted to the higher planetary systems. Similarly, yogis are engaged in achieving a similar goal by accepting the tedious practices of mystic yoga. Jnanis are engaged in philosophical speculations in order to gain release from the clutches of material nature. In these ways, everyone is engaged in performing very difficult tasks simply for the gratification of the senses. All of these are considered to be engaged in sense gratification or sense gratificatory activities for vishaya, because they all demand some facility for material existence. Actually, the results of such activities are temporary, as Krishna himself proclaimed in Bhagavad Gita 7.23, Antavattu param tesham. The fruits of those who worship the demigods are limited and temporary. Thus, the fruits of the activities of the yogis, karmis, and jnanis are ephemeral. Moreover, Krishna says, Tad bhavat yalpa medasam. They are simply meant for men of small intelligence. The word vishayadanas, sense gratification. The karmis flatly state that they want sense gratification. The yogis also want sense gratification, but they want it to a higher degree. It is their desire to show some miraculous results through the practice of yoga. Thus, they strive very hard to achieve success in becoming smaller than the smallest or greater than the greatest, on creating a planet like Earth, or as scientists by engaging in by inventing so many wonderful machines. Similarly, the jnanis are engaged in sense gratification, so they simply interested in becoming one with the Supreme. Thus, the aim of all these activities is sense gratification to a higher or lower degree. The bhaktas, however, are not interested in sense gravitatory practices. They are simply satisfied to get an opportunity to serve the Lord. Although they are satisfied in any condition, there is nothing they cannot attain because they are purely engaged in the service of the Lord. The wives of the demigods condemn the performers of sense gratificatory activities as vanchita, cheated. Those so engaged are actually killing themselves, atma, as stated in Bhagavatam 11:2017. Nideham abjam silabam tudurlabam savam sukopam gurukarnadharam mayanako yena nabashavitaritam paman bababjam notaritna atmaha. When one wants to cross a large ocean, he requires a strong boat. It is said that this human form of life is a good boat by which one can cross the ocean of essence. In the human form of life, one can obtain the guidance of a good navigator, the spiritual master. One also gets a favorable wind by the mercy of Krishna, and that wind is the instructions of Krishna. The human body is the boat, the instructions of Lord Krishna are the favorable winds, and the spiritual master is the navigator. The spiritual master knows well how to adjust the sails to catch the wind favorably and steer the boat towards the next destination. If, however, one does not take advantage of this opportunity, one wastes the human form of life. Wasting time in life in this way is the same as committing suicide. The word Labha-pavargam is significant in this verse because according to Jiva Goswami, apavargam, or the path of liberation, does not refer to merging into the impersonal Brahman, but to Salokyadi, city, which means attaining the very planet where the Supreme Lord of Personality of Godhead resides. There are 5 kinds of liberation, and one is called Sayuja Mukta, or Mukti, or merging into the existence of the Supreme, or impersonal Brahman effulgence. However, since there's a chance of one's falling down into the material sky from the Brahman effulgence, Jiva Goswami advises that in this human form of life, one's only aim should be to go back to home, back to Godhead. The word Savanchita indicates that once a person has obtained the human form of life, he is actually cheated if he does not make preparation to go back home, back to Godhead. The position is of all non-devotees who are not interested in going back to Godhead is very much lamentable, because the human form of life is meant for executing devotional service and nothing else. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragalitam Vitantam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Ladita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Svaminiti Namane Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastajadesha Tarvine. So when you hate somebody, you're envious of them, actually. Love means there's no envy, and hate means there's envy. So why is one envious of oneself, as stated in the verse? Because one who does not utilize the human form of life actually hates his very self. He's trying to misidentify. If you tell him he's an eternal spiritual being, you become very disturbed. He wants to just think he's the body. So his conception of happiness is gratify the senses. To understand he's a spiritual being, he doesn't want to hear that. It means he has to suffer the results of his sinful activities. Yeah, it opens up the idea of karma if I'm a spiritual being. So he doesn't want to, he hates that concept. He's envious of that concept that I'm a spiritual being. He just wants to think I'm the body, and let me eat, mate, sleep, and defend as much as possible. Enjoy life as much as you can while you can. That's the philosophy. So Prabhupada very, very, very excellently points out all these people, all the karmis, the gyanis, the yogis, those who are at the fruit of activities, even the modern day karmis building all their airplanes and their internet and their iPhones and so many things with their technologies. They're trying to imitate the ways of the demigods that create a heavenly atmosphere on this planet through machines, inventions, etc. So the karmis, the gross karmis on this plane, and the advanced karmis who engage in creative activities for elevation to the higher planet. And of course they're not karma yogis, they're higher level of karmis. Those who go to the heavenly planets, the higher level of karmis, so they're not karma yogis. Karma yoga is the beginning of devotional service. You're attached to acting in fruitive ways, but you offer the results of Krishna. That's karma yoga. Then you go to the yogis who want to do all kinds of austerities, become smaller than the smallest or greater than the greatest. People that pass through any wall with no difficulty, become smaller than the smallest. You can be locked in a jail cell, but you can easily pass out because you're smaller. Even through the iron, even through metal, you can pass because you become smaller than the smallest thing, smaller than an atom. And also they can develop all kinds of mystic powers to all kinds of amazing things to impress people how advanced they are. So whether you're a karmi, you're a yogi, or a jnani trying to merge into Brahman effulgence by mental speculation, it's all sense gratification. That's the point. Maybe more subtle sense gratification, but still, even if it's hard to become one with the Lord, it's also sense gratification. I'm not the body, but I want to become one with the Lord. It's subtle sense gratification. So the point is that sense gratification, because we're not these senses, sense gratification will never satisfy us. We keep running. Gratify my senses, gratify. We go crazy to gratify the senses, but it doesn't make sense to gratify the senses because it's not us. It's like the old example, you go to the gas station, you fill the air in the tires, you put oil in the engine, you put gasoline in the gas tank, but the driver is starving to death. What's the good of giving all facility to the car when the driver is starving to death? Your first business is make sure the driver is well fed. Make sure he's proper clothing, proper healthy condition. That's the first business. So the soul is actually the driver, and the body is the vehicle. So if you give all good facility to the vehicle and you neglect the driver, isn't that foolish? Wouldn't that be asinine? With a PhD brain, you should be able to understand. It'd be absolutely crazy to serve the vehicle and neglect the driver. And here in this material world, this crazy nightmare of material existence, everything is the body, everything to the body. Completely, they say there is no soul. That's very common philosophy. There is no soul. I'm the body, and so gratify as much as I can while I get a chance. That's the philosophy. But such a philosophy is suicidal. It's killing the soul. They want to kill it. So it's a suicidal philosophy. Therefore, Krishna is coming to deliver us from this insane philosophi. Dehi nosman yata dehe kumaram juvaram jala tata dehantara praptir dirasatam muyati. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes in another body at the time of death. The self-realized souls will not be Buddha by such a change. So, if we're not self-realized, we will be Buddha. If we're not self-realized, we get sick, we'll be Buddha. I become an old man in a wheelchair with hearing aids and thick glasses, I'll become the Buddha. And if I'm not self-realized. So the point is, become self-realized. Don't cheat yourself by not becoming self-realized. The difficulty is there's so many people offering self-realization, but it's not ready to build self-realization. I enrolled in what was called the Self-Realization Fellowship when I was a young spiritual seeker. They had me sitting and staring at a candle, become self-realized. Can you imagine sitting and staring at a candle to become self-realized? It didn't work. I burned all the lessons finally. Got a little bliss by burning all the lessons. It came in the mail. We didn't have internet in those days. So I got in the physical mail, I get a letter in the mail of my weekly lessons. Finally, I burned all the lessons because it didn't work. You have to have a bona fide spiritual master. It's a big business now, the guru business. It's like when I was in San Francisco, there was some guy who said he was the Messiah of the New Age. They had even a center, the Messiah of the New Age. He had many followers. He's just a cheater. Messiah of the New Age. So this world is full of all these cheaters taking the name of Guru, the name of Messiah. You see, they just cheat people, mislead them, get their money, get their following. So that's the difference between Prabhupada and these others. See, the spiritual master has to come in a disciplic succession. Evam param paraptam mejam margashayogu. This disciplic succession. A bona fide spiritual master is not a self-proclaimed guru. He comes as a representative of his spiritual master, as a representative of his spiritual master. He goes all the way back to Krishna. Krishna is the original spiritual master, and then he enlightened Lord Rama. Lord Rama enlightened Narada Muni, who enlightened Vyasadeva, the compiler of Vedic wisdom. So, and it goes down to Madhvacharya, it goes down, a whole list. So the bona fide spiritual master is not a self-proclaimed guru. He's simply a delivery man. Just like the postman, he comes to your house and delivers your letter from somebody sent you a donation, you see, in the mail. Now, the postman doesn't open the mail and take the donation out for himself. He gives the letter as it is. Whatever is coming, he doesn't open it up and change it or add it, subtract it, simply as it is. Therefore, we have Bhagavad Gita as it is. There's a very popular edition in India, Dr. Radha Krishnan, famous Bhagavad Gita. He says it is not the Krishna we should surrender. Can you imagine? He twisted it completely the opposite. It is not the Krishna that we surrender. And that was a very popular Gita in India. Dr. Radha Krishnan's Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada has given Bhagavad Gita as it is. You must, Krishna says, Sarvadaman Pradjaja Mamikam Shadadam Vicha Aham Tvam Sarvapapedo Moksha Samima Shivjaha. Give up all cheating religions, all bogus religions, and fully surrender to me. I deliver you from all your sinful reactions. Ma Sochara, you don't have to worry about anything. Krishna takes away all the worries. If we simply surrender to Krishna, no more anxiety. Ma Sochara, no more worries. Give up all worries or confusion or bewilderment. Give it all up. Are you bewildered? You see? As long as we do not fully surrender to Krishna, we're going to be bewildered. Bewildered, oh, what's going on? Bewildered. But if we fully surrender to Krishna, all bewilderment is finished. If we fully surrender to Krishna, we'll know how to think, know how to speak, know how to act in every situation. We'll become perfect in all thoughts, all words, and all actions. So the bona fide spiritual master teaches us how to surrender to Krishna, not to the unborn, unmanifest, or to this or that, the white light, or whatever they may teach. Now you have to merge into the white light. One so-called teaching was lay down all thoughts, surrender to the void. Turn your mind off, surrender to emerge into nothingness. Can you imagine what kind of teaching that is? Turn off your mind and surrender into nothingness. That's not very practical. Actually, this philosophy of nothingness is very interesting, because nothingness is also something. It's a concept. You say nothingness is the ultimate reality. That concept is something. So that concept, according to the philosophy of nothingness, that concept neglects itself. Nothingness cannot exist because nothing itself is a concept. It is something. So actually nothingness cannot exist. So there has to be something. You're a PhD candidate. That makes sense to you. Nothingness cannot exist because itself is a concept. It negates itself. So something must exist therefore. You find out the original something, which everything has come. Now you've come, you see, Sarvadam, but then you come Ishvaraha, Paramaha, Krishnaha, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakana Karanam. Krishna is the Supreme Godhead. He has no origin. He's the origin of all, and he's the prime cause of all causes. So according to Brahmaji, that original something is Krishna. It's not the oneness. It's not nothingness. It's Krishna himself. So you may say, well, I don't know if that's true or not. But here's what you can do to find out if it's true or not. Just try applying it. There's a very, very interesting sentence of 2 words only. It's a complete sentence in 2 words. Here's how the sentence goes. Truth works, period. Truth works. Truth is, in other words, truth is practical. If something is true, it's practical. If something is untrue, it's not practical. It's something you can do with it. Truth works. So, just test out Brahmaji's concept. Does it work? We understand there must be something, because nothingness cannot exist by definition. So there has to be something. What is that something? How will I find out that's something? Well, Lord Rama said that something is Krishna. You say, well, I don't know. Maybe it's something else. But that's called mental speculation. Maybe this, it may be that, maybe this, maybe that, maybe. It's a light, maybe this. But try out Brahma, just try it, you see. Try out Brahma's concept and see how it works. See if it works. You can try out the original source of the light, the original source is this, or it's that, it's a big rock, or whatever. It's the ocean, or whatever, it's the air, or whatever, fire, or whatever. Just try out the different philosophies of that. What is the original something, and see what's more practical. See what actually works, what actually elevates the consciousness and liberates one. So if you actually try out all the different concepts of what that vision of something must be, and you try out Krishna consciousness, as taught by the great Vaishnava acharyas, you'll find this really works. This is practical. This actually liberates me from all anxieties, bring me to an enlightened state of consciousness beyond time and space. Can you imagine coming to an enlightened state of consciousness beyond time and space? Well, we're talking about high-level stuff here. Beyond time and space, a consciousness beyond time and space. So that's where this will take you, and it's not difficult. You don't have to be a great scholar or a PhD candidate to understand it. Even a little kid can get into it. How do you do it? You just do this: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And all then becomes revealed in due course. You see, this Hare Krishna mantra, actually we already have an enlightened state of consciousness within us. It's just sleeping right now. You're already an enlightened soul, a purely enlightened soul. But that original state is covered by so many layers of lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, envy. Just like if you have a nice house, but you went away for 10,000 years, and you come back and there's dust everywhere. Wow, I got to dust this house, get a vacuum cleaner, maybe hire a cleaning service. I mean, the dust is like 1 foot of dust in the whole. It's amazing. You're away for 10,000 years, and now it's so. But we've been away from Krishna much more than 10,000 years. 10,000 lifetimes, even more than that. So that's how we've been away. So there should be a lot of dust. Naturally, there'll be a lot of dirt accumulated over time. So that's what we're dealing with. That's why we can't, even though Krishna is right here, he's right here in front of us, we can't see him. Do you know you have Krishna standing right in front of you right now, smiling at you and blessing you? We can't see Krishna because there's so much dirt accumulated from millions and millions and trillions and quadrillions of lifetimes. So Krishna says, okay, I'm going to make it easy for you. In this Kali Yuga especially, I'm going to make it super easy because you have a very short lifetime. In the Dwapara Yuga and the Satya Yuga, they live for 100,000 years. Treta Yuga, 10,000 years. The Dwapara Yuga, 1,000 years. In the Kali Yuga, 100 years. And actually, the average, you know what the average age is right now? 79. So I know it's very rare to become a centurion. A centurion is what they call it? Who lives to be 100 years. It's very rare, isn't it? So we have a very short lifespan. Therefore, Krishna has made it very, 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 very easy for us. Just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's described as the mirror of the mind. Now, if your mirror has too much dust, you can't see anything. But if you get some Windex and you really work on it, you can clear away the mirror where it's perfect. So that's what we're doing. Is the Krishna consciousness movement is meant to clear away all that accumulated dirt, so we can actually see our true selves as eternal spiritual being, and we can see the Supreme Personality of God is the source of all existence. So there's a very simple thing in this regard. It's simple for the simple and difficult for the crooked. If you just, in a humble way, say, okay, it sounds good, let me try it. Take a humble movement. All right, I don't really know anything. I've lost soul. You're telling me this will actually liberate me. Okay, I'll give it a try. You see, simple, honest person. All right, you come in, want to criticize it. Trying to criticize. Well, you people know what you're talking about. You put this weird stuff on your forehead. You bow down. I mean, you put your hand in a bead bag. What kind of weirdos are you? You come with a critical attitude. You see. Crooked, and then simple for the simple, difficult for the crooked. So don't come in with a crooked attitude wanting to find fault. Come in with a simple, all right, I'll give it a try. You people seem to be nice, you seem to be genuine, seem to be blissful. Let me try this. I tried everything else. Be happy. Let me try this. The other things didn't work. Let me try this and see what happens. So if you take it in a very simple way, you'll find it's not difficult to become Krishna conscious. Not at all difficult. So we're asking you to come with a simple, humble mood, and you'll find it very easy to awaken your dormant Krishna consciousness. Is there any questions? See if we have any questions rolling in from the online people. Any questions from the assembled Vaishnavas on the internet from all over the world? No, we're getting in a little early today. Question. Okay, you're number 2. Question. Females. Okay. Celibate for the first 25 years, house for 25 years, and Vanapasa for 25 years. Actually, we can look at a number of angles. The traditional system for females and for males also. Let's look from a number of different angles. Before they attain puberty, see, once you get puberty, your sex desire becomes awakened. You want to find some way to satisfy by getting married. It's a natural tendency. In the Vedic culture, the little boys and little girls were married even before they got puberty. The girl's living with her parents, the boy's living with his parents, and the girl would take things to her husband, little boy and little girl. The little girl would take them and shot them to her husband, little boy, you know. Little girl saying a little boy. That was the traditional system in India, in Vedic culture. So, as soon as she has a sex desire, meaning she got a husband, as soon as she gets old, even they would have children, probably at the age of 12, they would have children even. The first child at the age of 12. So that's one angle of looking at it. Now, that's one way of looking at it. Now, there's also the way of looking at it. Let's look at the men's side and try to understand the women's side. The brahmacharis, 25 years, and then married at 25, and after 25 years, after the age of 50, vanaprastha. And they can go to sannyasa after house order from 25 to 50, 50 to 75, vanaprastha, and then sannyasa. So what were the women doing in that time? Well, some women women were not meant to be brahmacharis actually. Brahmacharini was not a traditional system in India. There was too many men remaining brahmachari. The traditional system was whatever men got married, they could take more than one wife also. The traditional system was some men would be brahmachari and some would get married. And then, as I mentioned, the system was all women should marry. Brahmacharini was in ISKCON. There's no traditional thing as brahmacharini. But as making adjustment for the Western culture, Prabhupada had invented brahmacharini. So there's no such thing in Vedic culture. All the girls are married. That was the Vedic system. So they're married, they remain with their husband, and then at the age of 25, and then by 50, there's no more sex, no more sex enjoyment, no more producing children. And then the husband and wife, they would travel together to all these places. And then at the age of 75, the husband would take sannyas, and women would be cared for by her children. She would take care of her, and the children would take care of her. That was the system for females. You want to add something to it, Dave? Guru Manaji? No. Okay.
Brahmacharini, actually in ISKCON now, anybody comes is not a brahmacharini. All brahmacharis.
Oh, the new system is everybody is brahmachari. You can't say brahmacharini, that's offensive.
Not brahmachari.
Huh?
They are all gone through the process. They are not brahmacharis.
We're coming out of the modern day world where illicit sex is the standard. I mean, the standard when I grew up, if you're a brahmachari, it comes up from a weirdo, you know. I mean, you haven't had sex, what's wrong with you, boy? It's like everybody, you're expected to have sex to show that you're a man. That was the whole philosophy, you know. You have to have illicit sex, otherwise you're no good. I mean, it's a ridiculous culture. You're coming out of a culture, illicit sex is the standard. If you don't have it, you're considered some kind of weirdo. I mean, you haven't had sex? What's wrong with you? You know, it's a very degraded culture. Now, what about don't want to get married? Yeah, that option is there. If the girl doesn't want to get married, we don't force people to get married. Marriage is the best thing because that marriage is the best thing because then you have a whole system of being protected the whole life. But we have women who don't want to get married, and they have to go and maintain themselves. They work at a corporate job and an atmosphere where there's all kinds of exploitation going on, illicit sex is going on. It's a very difficult thing, actually. We don't force somebody to get married, but it's recommended to get married if possible. Well, a lot of times there's no men available. That's another thing. They have to remain single. There's women who want to get husband, but there's no husband available. Or some rascal husband doesn't want to follow the principles, not initiated. So it's a difficult thing, but the beauty of it is if you take shelter of Krishna, Krishna will take care of you in spite of whatever the situation may be. Okay, Amala Purana. When the devotee reaches a stage of full surrender as Lord Krishna demands in the verse, Sarvadaman Prajaja. Let's see what the second half of the question is. What's the second half of your question? I haven't finished it here. Somebody had got in there in the middle of it. I'll wait for your second half to come. Yogadharma Devidasi. How can I identify and get rid of subtle sense gratification? Yeah, that's something we have a problem with. We follow principles, but yet within our heart we have all these desires for subtle sense enjoyment. Even we want to enjoy by thinking about sense enjoyment. We don't engage in doing it grossly, but in our mind we try to enjoy it subtly by contemplation on sense gratification. So how do you get rid of it? Well, you have to understand, even Jamunacharya Albandra, he had that same experience. He was a king having so many sexual enjoyments with women, but then he's become a Vaishnava. He actually became a great Vaishnavacharya, but suddenly his mind would flash back on those things. So you can do one of two things. When you can drool over those things, try to enjoy them, you can spit at them. So that's what you do. You spit at the thought. When you have subtle sense gratification, spit at it. Don't try to drool over it. Oh yeah, let me enjoy these thoughts. No, spit at it. His lips would curl with the taste, and he would spit at the thought. So that's what you do when you have subtle sense gratification. You're coming in, spit at it. Get out of my mind, you rascal thought. You're not welcome here. Get out of here and don't you dare come back again. That kind of an attitude. Spit at it. Okay, Bhaktan Shila. I understand about envy towards others, but I'm not able to understand envy on oneself. That means to deny your spiritual identity and misidentify with your material body. Now that's the envy of your envy of your identity as a spiritual being. You're trying to negate it and not embrace it. And they kick it away. No, let me enjoy my senses. That's envy of one's spiritual identity. Okay, Bhaktan Priya. How does this make sense to you, Ajay? All we're saying makes sense to you. Okay. Do you have any questions? I'm here to serve you. So don't be shy. You get first priority. Both of you have first priority. Okay, here we go. How is the desire to serve Krishna different? Since you mentioned wanting to merge is serving. No, wanting to merge is denying the personality of Godhead. No, it's not. Wanting to merge in Krishna is not service to Krishna. It's denying his personality. Okay, Anasuya. As mentioned, one has millions of lifetimes accumulated dust of anarthas in one's heart, so how one can become free from this dirt in one's heart at one lifetime by taking complete shelter of Guru and Krishna. As Krishna says, Sarvadaman Prajaja, I'm meaning to deliver you. As soon as you completely surrender, Krishna can cut through it. You cannot cut through by your own strength, but Krishna in one stroke can finish all those millions of years of accumulation. So taking complete shelter of Guru and Krishna, in 1 second it can all be dissipated. Okay. Amala Purana. When does the devotee reach the stage of full surrender? Whenever you do it, that's when we can achieve it in 1 second. In 1 nanosecond, we can achieve immediately. But we're still doubt. Well, I don't know. Maybe. There's something known as partial surrender. Yes, I'm 1% surrendered. We can go 1%, as I mentioned the other day, you see. We get a little surrendered, okay, I'll chant japa, but I'll still, still do this or that. I'll still go to movies or whatever, There's different levels of strictness. But even when you're following all the principles, the tendency to subtle sense enjoyment is also there, you see. So there's, as I mentioned, you're crossing over a mountain. It's an uphill climb until you get to the top. You're not there yet, but now it's a downhill slide, you see. So the beginning, it's a real struggle. You're addicted. It's like, you're addicted to illicit sex, music, intoxication, and gambling. But you say, okay, I'm going to give it up. I understand it's not good for me, but you still have the desire. Like I had one disciple who was having difficulty with smoking. He made the vow, but yet he has difficulty. He keeps smoking. He wants to give it up. He's getting professional help. He's writing to me about it. He wants to give it up, but he's got this huge addiction to cigarettes. So he's fighting it and fighting it and fighting. He's working on it very sincerely to give it up. So he's partially surrendered and still giving into his senses. But gradually he'll get free from that anartha of cigarette smoking. He should have given it up immediately, but he's fallen back in his previous habits. It happens sometimes to initiated devotees. They fall back into their previous bad habits. They want to do it, but they made a vow to do it, but they fall back. So they're partially surrendered. But he's working on it to get free from them. Paramahamsa Das. When one materially struggles, the impetus is to maintain status quo. Or to become more happy, what is the impetus for spiritual struggles? An interesting question. See if I understand it. When materially struggles, the impetus is to maintain status quo. The key is, in the midst of your material struggles, you have to struggle spiritually at the same time. It's like someone being struggling, having to work 2 jobs just to maintain paying his rent or whatever it may be. He can work 2 jobs, so many hours a day, because he's not making enough from one job to even maintain the family. He's materially struggling. So you have to spiritually struggle also to remain Krishna conscious in the midst of your material struggles. Without spiritual struggles, you can't be happy. You may be successful in material struggles, but still you won't be happy. You have to struggle spiritually. Yato yato nishalate manaschanshanamastaram tatastato nayanyatat atmanyevivishamyayat. From whatever and wherever the mind wanders, due to its flickering, unsteady nature, and most certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. So the struggle is to be Krishna conscious in the midst of your material struggles. You have to struggle spiritually. If you focus on that, you'll find the material struggles become easier and easier and easier to deal with them. If you don't struggle spiritually, your material struggle will continue for your whole life. If you struggle spiritually to be Krishna conscious in every situation, no matter whether it's easy or hard, the sobchati na kankshati. In happiness and distress, Brahmabhuta Prasanatma will always be joyful in the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness. So you have to do the spiritual struggle that's more important than material struggles. Okay, anything else?
Prabhuji, like the verse we read today, there was this mention that we want to enjoy attention, so people who are doing science or doing good karma also, there's this tendency of self gratification by doing higher activities. Yeah, when one can do pious activities, that's also sense gratification. To get somebody recognized, or to go to the heavenly planets, or some wealthy man wants to open a charity hospital, so people will think he's very nice. He can be admired by society. That's a subtle sense gratification. So, how do you maintain? So, I hope I'm not wrong. Is that so? We should not do that. No,
you can do it. Make it a Krishna conscious hospital.
Okay. So because my question
where there's Prasadam served, and there's Kirtan. Just like Hare Krishna, we have charity hospitals in ISKCON also. If I remember, Bhaktivedanta Hospital, I've been in India. You can have but make it Krishna conscious, then it's beautiful, it's wonderful. Then it's transcendental. But have a material hospital where there's no Krishna consciousness, where they serve meat, or but there's no Krishna consciousness. Make it Krishna conscious, then it's transcendental, and it helps you liberate you from material existence. Just like a free food program, you make it prasadam, then you get spiritual benefit. But it's even vegetarian food. You have a free program of vegetarian food, but it's not prasadam, and you get the karma of giving those people eating vegetarian food is also sinful karma if it's not prasadam. So you have to make it transcendental, Krishna conscious, and then you get great benefit. If you feed millions of people prasadam, wow, you get huge benefit. And that's a very wonderful thing to do. Does that make it clear?
Yeah.
Make it transcendental piety, mundane piety. And it's very beautiful, wonderful.
Just to make sure that I got this right. So you're saying if I do a higher karma and I kind of dedicate it to Krishna, and do it from him as center, then it's okay to.
If I do what?
If I do higher activities, like say inventing things, or like helping technology to move forward so that it could help humanity, and then keeping Krishna etc.
Oh, like computer science?
Yes.
Like inventing a new, more high-tech iPhone?
Yes.
Better iPhone?
Yes.
A K-phone? Krishna phone? Well, if you're doing it to make it to earn a living, and you're using it, simply to make a better high-tech iPhone will not liberate you from material existence. But if you're doing that to earn a good living, and you use that so you can, and you use that, and you engage in Krishna's service, then that's transcendental. In other words, most of our devotees, many of our devotees are working in high-tech industry. They're not doing direct Krishna consciousness in their job, but they're using the result. They're donating money, and they're giving it free time. Then it's transcendental. But they're thinking, just by doing this job and coming with a better iPhone, what are they going to do? They'll look at porno on a better iPhone. Better facility for watching porno. You see, then you have it. Simply the higher technology itself is not beneficial. Because we can see now that by high tech, there's more people looking at porno on their smartphones. People watching porno all day long on their smartphones. Previously, porno was hard to get. They had it in magazines. It was called Playboy magazine when we were kids. Only they wouldn't sell it to minors. But you had to get porno. You had to go buy a Playboy magazine and lie about your age or something. And it was very difficult to get porno when I was a kid. Very difficult. So I never saw it. It was good. But now it's very easy to get. Anybody can go to a porno site on the internet. Even a kid can watch porno on the site. By this high technology, porno is more easy to get now. It's polluting the mind. So high technology in itself can lead to more degradation. So what you do with it, what you do with the income, that will determine whether it's benefit or not. You're earning a good living, and you make donations to the temple, and you can live a very Krishna conscious lifestyle, and you can go to take the money and go to Vrindavan and for pilgrimage and bathe in the Jamuna. Then it's good. But in itself, it's not going to liberate you, making a better technology. What you do with that income. If you can make a higher technology that gives Krishna consciousness to everybody, for example, here's a good example. If you can make a site which attracts more viewers than CNN, and like on CNN you get these mundane advertisements, right? If you can come up with a technology to make a site which attracts more people by its very unusual and very amazing nature, attract a larger viewership than CNN, and you can use it to present the Hare Krishna mantra to all the viewers, a picture of Krishna in every viewer, and you can make Krishna popular through technology, and that's great. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you? But the technology itself, they can give better facility for sense enjoyment, which is detrimental to the population. But if it forces, if everybody becomes Krishna conscious by this technology, then it's a great benediction. But if you're just working in a job and you're doing it to earn a good living, then how you use that living, that can be beneficial for you. So the technology itself, higher technology, will not benefit humanity. Higher technology is actually degrading the human. As I pointed out, higher technology is actually degrading the human race now. Higher technology is degrading the human race.
Can I just ask one question? So, yes, that's true. There's a high chance of degrading humanity with technology. But then if, let's say, a good person is not going to do it, somebody else will kind of...
Well, better him get the sinful reaction instead of you. Let him get the sinful karma rather than you. Why should you get the karmic, the sinful reaction for polluting the human race? Let him get it.
So, Prabhu, so let's say you would be on a spread Krishna consciousness.
If you can use higher technology for spreading Krishna consciousness, then that's very good. You should come up with something that will make the whole world Krishna conscious. You should think, what can I do by higher technology to make the whole world Krishna conscious? Then you're on a good track. Good. Because you know what Prabhupada said? He said, become Guru and deliver the whole world. You come with the technology to make the whole world Krishna conscious. You can get the unlimited benefit of making the whole world Krishna conscious. You get unlimited benefit. So I'll give you a little secret. You got the potential of making the whole world Krishna conscious right there in your bead bag. In your bead bag, you have the potential for delivering all living entities suffering the material existence. Because Prabhupada said, if you chant the holy name of the Lord purely without any offense, you become Jagat Guru, the spiritual master of the whole world. And under your influence, everybody in the whole world will become Krishna conscious. So the potency for living the whole world is right there in that bead bag. We have more questions rolling in, I think. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, we have Govardhan Das. Devotional life is something very challenging, and how to make it simple. Pure chanting is the key. Okay, Kirtan Devi Dasi. What factor is holding oneself from surrendering completely? Yeah. Our mental concoctions. So we thank everybody for tuning in. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.